want to give a shout out to Blue Raider Nation. Man, we get a chance to be back home, and I tell you what, they've done a terrific job, man, of showing up. And I really want to start with that as we get into the month of October, which starts this stretch of midweek games. So for us, that's what Conference USA has done. That's what it's known for. And when October comes around, there's a lot of things happening with October. But Blue Raiders hope and expect to play their best ball in the month of October. We look at it with the opponent being Missouri State this week, and we've had 11 days off, right, into this contest, and so that allowed us to really step back a little bit, do some self scout, evaluate, man, where we are, players, plays, coaches, schemes, and really, man, dive deep into okay, who are we? What's our DNA? Okay, what have we done well? And what do we need to do better? And just really focus on those things as you talk about playing good football. As we went through, just looking at addressing issues, fundamental situational football, penalties, turnovers, execution. Those things were really the focus. So we were able to take the earlier practices and just really focus on fundamentals with a little bit of Missouri State. Then we went from there to just full Missouri State. What we expect to see from this group is a well coached team by Coach Beard in his third year. This group has a quarterback who can really spin it. Really, at the end of the day, man, he's as good a quarterback as we'll see. I know he got hurt in the last game, but we fully expect him to play. And if he doesn't, in his backup, do some step on the field and give us a different type of quarterback. So we fully expect to see the starter, but if Duke steps on the field, we'll be ready. So we prepare for both quarterbacks. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks this year. That seems like not a new consequence for us. So I think we are ready in to play against multiple quarterbacks. And one of the biggest things we found out, and we knew this, but it's really what the tape tells you, right? Okay, we've been playing two opponents, not one. Okay, the man in the mirror as well as the team across the way. And I think it's clear when you get a chance to watch the tape, truly clear that, a lot of those things are self-inflicted. Those things are things that can be cleaned up. I think this team has been moving in the right direction, for a minute, but you want the end result, and that's what everybody looks at. So for us, man, we need the end result. We want the end result, but that comes because we make it so. So now what I'll do is turn it over for questions.
Coach, what do you think is going to be the biggest issue or biggest problem that you all will have to face against the Bears, especially this being their first year in Conference USA?
You know what? They're a good team. They came out of FCS, as a program, like who won, 8 games a season ago. So, really what it comes down to, you look at that program and what Coach Beard has done. He's been there. He's been able to put his DNA on it, and they've got guys. They've got weapons. When you look at, who they are offensively, again, man, they've got a running back who's pretty darn good. Lawrence can play. And then when you look at the wideouts, man, they've got some explosive guys. But when you got a trigger man who can spin it around, and you got a veteran secondary with a solid front and some really good linebackers, man, that lets you know, man, that he's done a really good job of building that program. So they're 2-3 right now. We know what we are, but this is going to be a game of wits and will. Okay, we got to worry about what we do. I know they're going to be a good team, but it's not about what they do. It's really about what we do.
They've been really good out of the gate. They've led and scored first in all 5 games so far. What's been the key to their early success?
I think it really has to do with how that group plays together. They do a good job of getting off the fast starts. The run game, the quarterback, and he's surgical in terms of what he does, like with the ball. Obviously, when he went out, like in the last game, and it looked a little different for him. So that changes a little bit of their dynamic, a little more run versus pass. But what I will say, I think a lot of it has to do with the trigger man and his experience and his composure.
You experienced midweek Conference USA play last season in your first year at MTSU. What are some things you learned last year that you can take into this slate?
It's hard. Okay, I mean, the first thing I'll tell you, from a Tuesday to a Thursday to a Wednesday, you come out of that thing and you can feel punch drunk a little bit. I think going into it, and you think, man, it's not that bad, and you go through it, and it feels a little different. So for us, I thought, having the time, looking at our schedule, understanding where we are, and getting a little bit of time to go into this, has helped this team like tremendously. But having gone through it together as a staff, I think it makes it like a little better. I think guys know what to expect, and really for us, it's just been about okay, what do we need to do? Okay, like let's get to the business of that, and then let's get them off their feet.
Come off the bye week, how did that help you guys not only from just getting rest, but also from the standpoint of maybe cleaning some things up or working with the guys a little extra?
Yeah, we scratch where it itches. You know, I mean, those things that I talked about, man. We had turnovers, right? Penalties, you know, staying ahead of the chains, situational football, all those things. I mean, red zone football. All those things were sort of areas that we focused on, man. But they weren't new to us. I think, man, it was sort of like popcorn. It was like this showed up here, this showed up there. Okay, well, then all of a sudden next week this showed up, that showed up. The biggest commodity is execution and finish, right? I mean, the idea of cleaning up penalties, guys know they got to do it. We understand that we need to take care of the football, and those untimely penalties have been costly, right? So you show those things, guys see it, then they really just like refocus. Man, you got to put it in the rearview mirror. You know, they can't get you 4 or 5 times. So like the reality of it is, man, we're a better team. You know, having had 11 days to really see who we are and what we need to clean up.
Connor mentioned it just a little bit ago about this being your second year in the midweek since USA. Last year it was kind of a little bit different because you guys played like 3 games. I believe it was like 13 days or something like that. This time it shakes out a little bit different with you guys having the bye after this with Delaware and all that. Kind of, how does that just impact your schedule having the gap instead of just the cluster of games?
Well, I think for us, it allows us to look at our schedule and say, okay, how can we establish a rhythm, right? Because that's really what you're trying to do in a time where there really is no rhythm. You're trying to establish some. I think the rhythm is going to help us, if I'm being honest. And I think with that, our guys, I got veterans. I got some older guys, man, who've been through it much more than me. So, you know, I just asked those guys how they feeling, what does it look like, and then, you know, man, we're just adjusting our schedule to make sure, man, that we can't get enough rest. In their school, there's a lot of things like in between, but we want to play good ball. So, in order to play good ball, let's set the schedule for what it needs to be. Let's be smart and let's maximize the time.
And Chip brought it up a little bit ago. Missouri State starting off fast. You guys kind of tended to start off slow. What do you guys have to do to come out hot on Wednesday night?
Start fast. I don't. We don't need to make it up, right? I mean, we know we need to start fast. That's been somewhat problematic. There's times when we come out well offensively and slow defensively, and vice versa. I think we just need to put it together, and I think they know that. That's not a gotcha question. It's just one of those things where you got to do it. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, Coach, Missouri State's defense has kind of struggled against the run at times, and you guys toted the rock pretty well against Kennesaw State.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that can maybe carry some momentum into Wednesday?
Yeah, I think for us, man, we just want to be as dynamic as we can be, right? We want to play our style of football, and what does that look like? We want to carry, we want to tote the rock, but we also want to throw the pill. I mean, we're not gonna slow down. We just want to execute better. So, like for us, whatever that looks like that's what we're going to try to do. We think we've got a rotation of offensive linemen. We know what they can do, and I'm always going to put the ball, in our quarterback's hands and let him go. So let's do what we do.
The last 2 games, you guys have been in it, until the very end and didn't come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to take to come out on top this Wednesday?
Got to finish. We talked about it a little bit, right, man? It comes down to 3 things, man. You got to step to the middle of the ring and fight. Okay, man. You got to continue to have faith and believe in one another, and then when it comes down to it, you got to finish. And for us, those 3 things have to be front and center when we play a ball game, right? So that talks about playing fast. That talks about being good in the middle, okay, and that talks about really how we finish ball games. And if we do that, I think we'll like the results. But that hasn't happened for us yet, right? When this team plays a 4-quarter ball game, man, I think it'll be lights out.
Anything else, Coach?
All right, thank you.